Welcome back to the Rise Above podcast. I'm your host, Will Lambley. Today, we're so excited to be joined by Arkansas offensive lineman and friend and classmate of mine, Fernando Carmona. Fernando, thanks so much for being on with us today.
Thank you for having me here, man. This is truly an honor. We did our project together. We had a great time.
We got an A.
We got an A on it. And, you offered me to come on the podcast, and I couldn't not get on here, dude. You're an awesome guy, and I'm excited to do this with you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've had a lot of good memories of the past year since we've known each other. But one of my favorite ones, and you talked about actually on your podcast and the Pin and Pull podcast about the Tennessee game. I thought that was an awesome moment because obviously I didn't know you were going to be right there. Then someone told me, I was asking them, like, who's in front of me? And they're like, oh, it's Fernando. I'm like, oh, I got to go up to him. This is an awesome moment. And then that was a cool moment. You just being able to tell me what was going on.
Yeah, man. So we were about to win the game in the Tennessee game. There was about like a minute left. And I'm kind of standing on like far away from like all the action because I want to see it good and clear. And Will is just standing over there. And Will comes up to me. He's like, dude, we're about to win the game. I'm like, dude, all right, don't talk too soon, Will. But, we are. And, I just kind of gave Will the rundown of what was going on, what was going on during the plays. And, sure enough, we got the dub, and we all stormed the field. And, man, that was a memory that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yep, and I'll definitely be rooting on Tennessee in the playoff too, because then it'll make us look better from that game.
Right.
Yeah, but no, yeah. Something I realized about you is you should have a passion for. I know a lot of sports and a lot of knowledge of sports. Where's that kind of came from for you?
Yeah, man. Growing up, my dad was a high school football coach, and so I was around football basically my whole life. And so sports have been just huge in my family. My dad played college baseball. And so, ever since I was young, he would just always, sports. It was in my life.
Just always around.
Right. And so, him being a high school football coach, I was out there every Friday on the sidelines with him as he was coaching. I'd run out with him and the team. And, I got that, that energy, that vibe of, what it is to be on a football team at a young age. And, I wanted to be the basketball player. I kind of wanted to be the oddball out of my family. Didn't work out, but, football was, always a big part of me, and it found me later on in my life.
So growing up, basketball was your main sport that you loved doing?
Yeah, so I wanted to be the hooper in the family. My brother was kind of like the football player. He played at UNLV. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to be the basketball player. And around my junior year, I was like, this is just not working out. Like, I'm not really getting the looks that I want. I'm just kind of getting some smaller, looks at schools. And so the football coaches would constantly come up to me every day at high school, and they're like,
I can only imagine. That's what I was thinking.
Please come out. And
like, big guy that can move.
Right. And so I was like, I never wanted to play offensive lineman. That was kind of the funny part. I told him, I was like, I'm not going to play if I'm going to be an offensive lineman. So finally, my junior year, I was kind of skinny enough, and they're like, well, we'll move you to tight end. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a week out here. I'll see what this hype is all about football. And after that week of workouts, I fell in love instantly. And they're like, you're going to play tight end? So I was like, I'm all on board. And so my junior year, I ended up playing tight end for my high school. I only played in about 7 games. I got hurt halfway through the season. And but even though that happened, I was fulfilled. That was my calling, and I loved it so much.
And so was your junior year, was that during 2019 or 2020?
That was 2020.
Okay.
Or was that? Yeah. No. Yeah, that was 2020. That was right before COVID.
Okay. So
it was 2019 going to 2020.
Okay.
And then my senior year was COVID, so we didn't have any football, and there was no sports going on. So I basically played 7 games and of football, and I was like, I want this to be my life. And I didn't think it was going to continue because of COVID. We didn't have a football season, so a lot of schools weren't really offering me. And they were kind of nervous because they were like, well, you only played 7 games of football. We don't know if we want to take the chance.
You just got to tell them, check out that basketball mixtape.
Right. Well, funny enough, that's kind of what got me the offer to San Jose. The offensive line coach at San Jose, I had to change my mind because I was like, if I'm going to continue to play football, I was only getting one real offer, and that was San Jose State, and he wanted me to play offensive line. And so I was like, you know what, if I want to continue to play football, I'm going to do this. And sure enough, they offered me, and he was like, yeah, man, like I watched your football highlights. You're not really a tight end, but I see the way you move on the basketball court. And so we really like that. And, we're just going to kind of offer you, and we're going to move you to offensive line and see what we can do with you.
Yeah, that is crazy how that worked out. You literally got recruited. Was it based off those basketball mixtapes you posted on was Instagram? I'm guessing you put that on your Twitter too.
Yep. I posted it on my Twitter, and I just if you watch my basketball highlights, it's just me setting hard screens and just like
I know
getting
there's a
rebounds.
3 or 2 in there too.
Yeah, there's a 3. Yeah. There's a 3 in there too. I get one like little rinky-dink dunk, but no, nothing too special on the basketball court. But it got me an offer for football, and I was blessed, man.
So I'm sure preparing for college football, there's definitely some steps you had to take. Because I know from playing tight end to offensive line, you definitely have to gain more weight.
Yeah.
So what were some of those steps you had to take?
Yeah, so that was kind of the big part was, all right, I need to get my weight up. I was weighing about like 230 in high school, and by the time I got to college, I was about like 240, 250.
Okay.
And they're like,
so that's going into freshman year at San Jose.
And they were like, well, you need to gain about like 50 more pounds if you want to like actually play. And the whole goal was for me to redshirt my first year and then play my redshirt freshman year. So I was like, I need to gain this weight fast. And, I didn't do it the right way. I ate a lot of ice cream, lots of ice cream and Panda to gain the weight. But we did it, and I gained about 60 pounds. I got up to like 310.
It's one way to get the calories in.
Yeah, not the smartest way, but I got it in fast, and I got the weight up. But I think the hardest part of it all was just kind of changing my mindset. As a tight end, you're always catching the ball. Like the glamour on you, all the eyes are on you. And, I just had to learn how to be tough, and then, just realize I'm not going to get the shine anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure that taught you a lot. Just being a freshman playing college football when a few years ago you didn't even plan on playing football, and now being an offensive lineman where you literally have to be selfless. I'm sure you learn a lot about being selfless, especially those first year or so. Yeah,
no, most definitely. And I think the guys in the room really helped me. They were really close. We were a really close-knit group, and they just kind of took me under their arms, and they showed me what it takes to be an offensive lineman. And so for those great mentors that I had, those seniors in that class, they were like, well, you're going to be next up, but these are what it takes. These are what are the characteristics of being an offensive lineman, and I had to learn them fast. And it was something I'm glad I learned because it's helped me grow as a person and just kind of carried through my daily life.
Yeah, that is awesome. It's so cool to see the lessons football can teach. And was there ever any moments when you got to San Jose that you thought, okay, football might be a little tougher than I thought?
Yeah, no, dude, definitely. So our first fall camp practice, they took us away from San Jose. They took us to this place called Humboldt Community College. And this thing is let me kind of paint the picture for you. This college is in the middle of nowhere. It's in the hills.
So kind of like Mississippi State.
Yeah, almost like Mississippi State.
Yeah, I've heard it's in the middle of nowhere.
And it's in the hills. There's a bunch of trees, and every morning you wake up, it's super foggy, so you can't really see much. And so it's a very eerie kind of college school. Nobody's on campus. It's just the football team. And so this is my first ever experience of college football practice. We're staying in these really bad dorms, and we'd have to wake up every morning, and we go out and we'd practice on some rinky-dink football field. It was really bad turf, but it was wow, this is college football, and this is what I have for the next 5 years. And but it taught me so much about myself, and just kind of I have to just I'm away from home. This is hard right now, but this is all going to work itself out. And football is going to teach me so many life lessons, and it's going to be so positive for me. I just got to trust the process, and that's what I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what were some of the key things that helped keep you going as you said you mentioned away from your family and going through your first fall camp, and you're like, man, it's harder than I expected.
Yeah, I think just kind of, leaning on my friends that I had at the time at the college, and then leaning on my family. And, I was calling them every night, just trying to suck as much of them in on FaceTime as much as possible. And it was tough. But, I really relied on my friends and families at the time to just kind of help me through those hard days, and just kind of realize, we're going to get through this, and it's going to be all right. And, the process you just got to enjoy the process. And that's what I learned is if you enjoy it, it's all going to work itself out.
Yep, and I think that's almost a lost art, as I know you saw of people in sports and even business or whatever they're doing, is people get so caught up on what could happen that's bad that they forget about, like, man, enjoying where they're at in the moment.
Most definitely. I think too many times, and I've gotten caught up in it too where I'm like, this is so bad that I forget that, like, what got me there is, the fun part. It's the journey of, everything that goes on. And so it's really special. You got to take it all in.
Yeah, exactly. I know we mentioned a little bit about your freshman year, some hard things you had to overcome at first, being new to college football and then being at a community college for fall camp where it seemed like it was very hard. What do the next couple of years look like for you? Because I know you obviously did good if you're at SEC school now.
Yeah, so like I said, there was a super senior above me. He had used his COVID year to stay one more, and he was really good at football. And like I said, my coach was like, he told me this at 250. He was like, if you get the weight up, you'll be playing your redshirt freshman year. And so I took his word on it, and I worked super hard. And so that redshirt freshman year, I was able to get the start. My second ever game was at Jordan Hare Stadium against Auburn.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, so playing left tackle, and it was hard, dude. That first year, like, I gave up a lot of sacks. I didn't really play the greatest, but once again, I was like, this is kind of part of the process. This is a part of the journey. It's not going to look perfect today, but, if I stick to, getting better each and every day and, bettering myself, bettering my body, I'm going to be one of the best left tackles to ever play. And then so, I had a rough redshirt freshman year. My redshirt sophomore year played a little bit better, and I was like, all right, I started gaining confidence in myself, and then I was like, I think I want the move to make the change and try to see, like, where I could go. And sure enough, it led me to Arkansas, and as I entered the transfer portal.
That is awesome. I love how you keep mentioning just sticking with the journey.
Yeah.
Because I feel like so many people, I know I'm guilty of this, face hardship, and we think, man, I just wish this didn't happen, instead of having the mindset of, okay, it happened. Now how can I learn? How can I truly grow from this situation? Because I love how you kept mentioning how, like, when you got there, times weren't just all roses and everything just wasn't perfect. And you mentioned that it wasn't easy only playing football for a couple of years and then just being thrown right into Jordan Hare Stadium. Yeah. But how you can look back on that and see, like, how that really helped you get to where you are now.
Yeah, no, it's all about perspective. And, I had, after transferring, I came to Arkansas, obviously, and I would say I didn't have my greatest year this year. And so, I've been kind of dealing with that. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? But, it all kind of has to come back to, this is part of the journey. And I have to just kind of ride the wave. And, it's all going to work itself out at the end of the day. And whether that be football or whatever it may be. But, I just got to keep riding the wave, and it's going to take me to the right places.
Yeah, exactly. And what was kind of the biggest things that led you to Arkansas? Because I know you're from Las Vegas, so you probably, I'm assuming, hadn't heard too much about Arkansas growing up.
No, I didn't really hear anything. So when I got this offer, I was just kind of like, okay, I don't know what this is going to be. But, Coach Mateos came down, our offensive line coach, came down and met me in San Jose. We actually ate my burrito together that I had in San Jose. And so we built a really good relationship from there. And he was like, man, just come down, visit Arkansas, and you're going to fall in love. And so I took my first visit to UCLA. After that, I came to Arkansas. And right as I touched down, man, and I got into Fayetteville, I was like, I love this place.
Yeah.
Like, the coaches were awesome. And just kind of like the environment, there was just something in the air like that. It was cold because it was wintertime. So it was like that cold, crisp, like Arkansas air. And I was like, man, this feels right. Something feels right about this.
Yeah, I was thinking that probably was, I'm sure when you first heard about Arkansas, you're like, oh, Arkansas, what in the world?
Yeah.
But when you got here, like, wow, I didn't know this was as nice as it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. And funny enough, my mom was like, when I told her, I called her over the phone. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about taking my other visit to Arkansas. And she's like, Arkansas, what? She was like upset. And she was like, I don't know about that one. I don't know if you're going to like it over there. I don't know what it is. And funny enough, she was like the first one to fall in love. She was like, I love this place, Junior. You have to sign.
That's when you know you got to go there when your mom's in love with it.
Right. And so that was also another part of it where like my parents were really happy with it. They loved this place. And, I'm a big family guy. And if my parents love it and my family's all on board, then, I'm on board too.
Yeah. And I know beforehand we were talking about after about 2 weeks after you got to Arkansas, when you guys were doing off-season training, Neil Harrell told me a story about how obviously the bigs run with the bigs and the skills run with the skills, and apparently there's a skill player who was complaining about the running or just doing something that was giving a negative vibe to the team, and you were calling him out, and he told you that, okay, if you're so big and bad, how about you come run with us? And then you kind of went to run with them. I think that really speaks to who you are and the type of leader, how you really want to see others succeed.
Yeah, man. I think I'm big on, as a leader, doing it. I'm a big shower as a leader.
That is so true too, because no one likes the guys just yelling.
Right, 100%. And so I try to I like to use my voice here and there, but not as much. I like to use my actions to show my leadership. And so that was just kind of one of those instances where it was like, I'm not going to use my voice to try to argue with you right now. I'm going to show you by my actions. And, if my 325-pound self can run sideline to sideline, I know your 200-pound self can do it too. So
what was kind of the skill players' reaction whenever you were over there running?
They got hyped, man.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a good boost. It was a good way for me to kind of join the team too.
I'm sure that helped like the team gain respect for you too.
Definitely, it was gaining respect, and then it was just like I got into the locker room, and a lot of people came up to me and they're like, "Bro, we appreciate that," and it was a really cool moment because I got closer with the guys that day, and that's what football is all about. It's about the relationships that you build.
Exactly, and you just truly never know who you can impact through the game as well.
Right.
And what would have been some of the biggest lessons you've learned in this? And I'm sure it just seemed like it's went by so fast as you've been at Arkansas now for probably a little less than years. You came up here in January of last year, but what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned?
I think just being in the moment and enjoying the company of the people that you're around, the players, your teammates, because, in about 10 years or 15 years from now, hopefully I'm still playing, but, football is going to be done, and those teammates, those bonds that you create they're done. And so, just taking them all in, I had a really big realization kind of these past 2 weeks with, everybody entering the transfer portal here. And I built these friends starting in January, and now they're leaving me. And so it's really kind of hit me that, like, I got to cherish every moment that I have with them and cherish every memory that we make because, at a snap of a finger, it's all gone. And, you're meeting new teammates and you're creating new memories.
Yeah, no, I think that speaks so much to football, but I think we can all apply that to life too, because like you truly never know what could come in a day, but what you can control is how you attack every moment.
Most definitely.
And
No, continue.
Yeah, I think that's so good. And I even tell people a lot whenever I speak at different places, my stick, which I used to get around, the only way it works is when I'm in the moment. Because when I focus too much on what's in front of me, I usually miss a step. Focus too much on what's behind me, I'm usually lost. But it's when I'm in the moment that I know where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. And I think that's so much with our life too, about how we might be blind to how we're going to get there when we're not like in the moment.
No, most definitely. And that's a great analogy, dude. I've never really even thought about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't. For Lynn Mead, who you also have helped me with that last year.
She taught you. She told you that.
Yeah, no, we she works a lot with speeches with me, so yeah.
No, I like that, dude. You get blind to the future because you're just so caught up in other things that you forget that where you're at right now, where your feet are at. And funny enough, my dad's like one of his favorite quotes is "Be happy where your feet are at." He's been saying that like to me every single day, but it's real though. Yep. If you're happy where your feet are at, then you're just gonna be happy in life.
Yeah, no, that is so true, and that's one of the biggest things I've saw from you, just like an overall gratitude and appreciation for life. Because I feel like that's almost something you just don't really see because everyone, whether it's in football or life, anytime something negative happens, everyone wants to talk about that and like see, how can this affect us? But I feel like there's not enough of, okay, this is negative, but how can we still appreciate the situation?
No, most definitely, dude. And one of my favorite things about you, Will, is that I didn't even know you when I first got here, but you'd be at football practice and you'd be smiling ear to ear, just enjoying the moment. And so that's kind of where I gained my appreciation for you, because every day you had that great energy, that great vibe, and we didn't even know each other.
Yeah, no, we
I'll
didn't.
come up to
Yeah,
you and
you come up
I'll
to me.
give you fist bumps and stuff, and
No, I was like, I don't really know who this guy is, but he's a great energy. So I know.
And sure enough, we got brought together for whatever the reason may be, and I'm really blessed, man, to have you in my life.
No, yeah, I am too, and I'm so excited. Even though I'm graduating this next year, but I'll still be around. That you'll still be at the University of Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
And just to continue to keep getting to know you and see not only how you continue to impact lives on the football team, the community, but also like how your football career continues to go. Because I mean, you've only been playing for about 5 years now.
Yeah, it's going on 2
5 years. So
5 years.
I was telling Joey, who helps me with the podcast, I was like, man, 5 years, this guy just can keep getting better each year. So I mean, literally the best is yet to come.
Yeah, dude, I just got to stick to the process, like we've been saying, and it's like you said. When you just said that, that's kind of crazy, because once again, I get kind of caught up, but like 5 years is wild, man. I'm so young still to this all, and I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's something I love to ask people on this podcast, because obviously the Rise Above podcast, everyone's going through something that's kind of tough. And 2 questions I'd like to finish with. First one is, obviously there's going to be a lot of people that come across you, whether it's in Arkansas, Las Vegas, wherever you go. If there's something they can know you for, what would you want that to be?
I want to be known for just being a great person, a great role model to just like the kids, the community, and I just want to be known for just being a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Football was awesome. I want to be known as a great football player, but being known as a better person means everything to me. And
And I think it's something to stuff with me from you. It's like we come across a lot of athletes or people that are known in professions, but like it's just about them. So like they don't really acknowledge others. But something I saw from you is you really try to like go out of your way to, man, how can you make someone else's day better? And that's what I've been really impressed by, and that's why I know you're going to continue to impact lives more than anything.
Appreciate that, man. The thing is, I don't even realize it, but
I think it's just you being you, for real.
I just want it. That's just kind of who I am, and I just care about people, and I just care about putting smiles on people's faces.
No, that's awesome. And the question I love to finish with is, being the Rise Above podcast, this really originated from me when I started losing my sight, and then seeing other people going through tough situations, whether it's just in a football game or in their life or something's going on around them that is facing something tough. And obviously there's going to be someone listening to this today that's going through something tough or will eventually go through something that they don't expect to hit along the way. And what's kind of an encouraging message you'd have for them?
I think just, rely on your resources, whether that may be God, family, friends, whatever that may be. Just rely on your resources and just believe in yourself. At the end of the day, the only person that matters is you. And if you believe in yourself, then that's all that matters in this world. And, you'll get through anything if you just believe in yourself.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. And I think that is one of the biggest things that can help people, teams, and organizations in life. There's a quote I love that Dabo Swinney from Clemson, their football coach, says, he said after they won their last national championship, which I think it was like 2018 now, but it seemed like it was yesterday. He said, "We didn't overachieve, we overbelieved." And I think speaks so much to what you just said right there about, believe in yourself, because the only way something 100% won't happen is when you don't believe.
No, most definitely. And it's hard. It's hard to believe sometimes. But
and that's why it speaks to, again, like you said, with our resources, man, get those good friends around you.
Yeah. And, your bond, the people that you're around, the circle of group that you're in, that affects your mind. And, if you just believe in positivity shall come.
Yes, sir. That is so true. And I know I've been encouraged by our conversation today, and so many other people will, that don't make your life about your platform, but make it about, man, how can you just be yourself and go out of your way to impact others in a positive way, because you truly never know who you'll come across. I think Fernando's a great testament to that. I'm so glad that God put him in my life about a year ago, and then in class again. But thank you so much for being on with us today, Fernando, and I can't wait for so many people to listen to this and be encouraged.
Thank you so much, Will, for having me on, and I'm glad to be your friend, man. I'm glad for the years to come and our relationship to keep growing.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we'll be able to look back at this in a few years and see Pro Bowl left tackle.
Amen, man.
Yes, sir.
Make it happen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for listening to the Rise Above podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and as well as follow us on any streaming platform at The Rise Above Podcast. And don't forget the. Everyone have a blessed day.